Hey everyone, welcome to Iconic Inside. Today we're stepping back into the 1980s to explore the legendary movie stars who defined beauty at the time. These stars once captivated the world, but their transformations over the years have been nothing short of surprising. Let's uncover their journeys and the stories behind the faces that once stole the spotlight. The movie stars of the 1980s were once the epitome of beauty, but time has inevitably left its mark on many of those once familiar faces. Join us as we explore their surprising transformations and the stories behind the stars who once mesmerized millions. If you're surprised by how some of these stars have changed, drop a 0 if you think someone doesn't look like they used to, or a 1 if their transformation blew your mind. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss one of our upcoming videos. Meg Ryan was the ultimate symbol of romantic comedies, effortlessly making audiences laugh, cry, and believe in love with just one look. Her iconic role in When Harry Met Sally, along with her undeniable chemistry with Tom Hanks in Sleepless in Seattle, solidified her as the queen of feel-good romance films. With her girl-next-door beauty, irresistible charm, and unforgettable smile, Meg Ryan became the go-to leading lady for 1990s love stories. However, the harsh realities of Hollywood, where age is often seen as the enemy, have taken their toll on many of its brightest stars, and Meg Ryan is no exception. Her appearance has changed noticeably over the years, sparking rumors about cosmetic procedures. Experts have pointed to signs of Botox, cheek lifts, and dermal fillers, igniting mixed reactions from the public. Some fans expressed disappointment over the loss of her once-loved natural beauty, while others argued that Meg has every right to reinvent herself, especially in an industry that can be unforgiving to aging stars. Despite the controversy surrounding her current appearance, Meg Ryan's cinematic legacy remains undeniable. She set the bar for romantic leads, showing that charm, humor, and sincerity can be just as captivating as physical beauty. The question lingers: is Hollywood's obsession with youth unfairly punishing icons like Meg Ryan, or is reinvention simply a part of the game in an industry that relentlessly demands perfection? Reid was once the quintessential sex symbol of late 1990s Hollywood, known for her iconic roles in American Pie and The Big Lebowski. She exuded a soft, natural allure with her bright smile, delicate features, and effortless charm, making her the dream girl for countless teenagers of that time. But as is often the case in the entertainment world, fame is rarely permanent, and Tara's journey is a striking reminder of that harsh reality. In the early 2000s, Reid made the decision to undergo several cosmetic procedures, including liposuction and breast augmentation. However, the results didn't go as planned. Instead of enhancing her confidence, the surgeries left visible imperfections on her chest and abdomen, turning her into a frequent target for tabloid mockery. Things took a turn for the worse when a red carpet wardrobe malfunction exposed her to flashing cameras, sparking a media frenzy. From that moment, her once promising career quickly began to unravel. Casting directors and producers turned their attention elsewhere, leaving the former starlet struggling to find new roles. But if there's one thing Hollywood loves almost as much as a downfall, it's a triumphant comeback. In 2008, Tara Reid took charge of her life, entering rehab to tackle her alcohol addiction and prioritize her recovery. Since then, she's worked tirelessly to rebuild her acting career, showcasing a resilience that has become a defining feature of her journey. Whether through reality TV shows or independent films, she's been carving out her own path, proving that while she may stumble, she refuses to stay down. Liza Minnelli, an icon of both Hollywood and Broadway, has a rare gift: the ability to command the stage with just a glance. Born to legendary singer Judy Garland and renowned director Vincente Minnelli, Liza came from a family steeped in artistic legacy. But she didn't lean on her mother's fame. She carved her own path with undeniable talent. Her unforgettable performance in Cabaret earned her a well-deserved Oscar. With mesmerizing eyes and striking features, she embodied the timeless allure of classic Hollywood. However, behind the bright stage lights and applause, Liza's life was far from easy. Her battle with addiction cast a long shadow over her career, leading to multiple stints in rehab throughout the 70s and 80s. Then, in 2000, a severe diagnosis, viral encephalitis, threatened her ability to speak and move. Doctors even questioned whether she would ever walk again, let alone perform. But Liza Minnelli refused to accept defeat. Against all odds and negative predictions, she fought with incredible determination. True to her indomitable spirit, she not only recovered, but returned to the stage, proving that her talent and resilience would never fade. Brigitte Nielsen, a Danish beauty with undeniable charisma, dominated the 1980s with her towering height of nearly 6 feet, 1.83, bold platinum blonde hair, and irresistible presence. Not just a model who transitioned into acting, Brigitte brought an intense energy to the screen that was impossible to ignore. Whether as Red Sonja alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger or the cold, intimidating Ludmilla Drago in Rocky IV, Nielsen secured her place in action film history. And who could forget her high-profile marriage to Sylvester Stallone, which kept her in the tabloid spotlight for years. However, life in Hollywood isn't always as glamorous as it seems. After the spotlight faded, Nielsen faced personal struggles, including alcohol addiction and a complicated relationship with cosmetic surgery. She has been candid about her procedures, from breast augmentation and liposuction to facelifts, all in an attempt to keep up with an industry known for its harsh standards for aging women. Her battle with alcohol addiction led Brigitte to celebrity rehab with Dr. Drew in 2007, where she bravely faced her inner demons. But true to her resilient spirit, Brigitte didn't fade into the background. She made a remarkable comeback. In 2018, she stunned fans by appearing in Creed II, a sequel to Rocky IV, proving she still had that icy demeanor. But she didn't stop there. She went on to write an extraordinary new chapter in her life by giving birth at the age of 54, shattering age-related boundaries and stereotypes. Whether you admire her or find yourself even more in awe, Brigitte's unrelenting willpower is truly one of a kind in Hollywood history. Kathleen Turner, the sultry star of the 1980s, redefined allure with unforgettable roles in Body Heat and Romancing the Stone. With her smoky, seductive voice and striking features, she swiftly became a sex symbol of the silver screen, capturing the attention of audiences worldwide. However, beneath that captivating exterior, Kathleen Turner's life has been far from easy. In the mid-1990s, she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, a chronic illness that weakened her body and forced her to step away from the spotlight for an extended time. The pain she faced was not just physical, but also a mental shock as her career came to a halt. She has also been open about her struggles with alcohol addiction, which she turned to in an attempt to cope with the constant pain. The physical and emotional challenges have had a significant impact on Kathleen Turner's public image and career. Over the years, there have been countless rumors about possible plastic surgery, though Kathleen has never confirmed any of them. Despite everything, she remains a symbol of resilience in the face of life's toughest battles, and her influence on the film industry is undeniable. What do you think? Is Kathleen Turner the ultimate femme fatale of Hollywood? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Daryl Hannah, the legendary Hollywood actress, known for iconic roles in Blade Runner and Kill Bill, became a household name in the 1980s and 1990s. With her striking beauty, piercing eyes, and graceful demeanor, she was the true it girl of her era. In recent years, noticeable changes in Daryl Hannah's appearance have sparked speculation about whether she might have undergone cosmetic procedures. While Daryl has consistently denied having surgery, recent photos have led to doubts that she may have used treatments like Botox, fillers, or even eyelid surgery. Aesthetic experts suggest that these could explain the fuller look of her cheeks and lips. This change has left many fans feeling nostalgic for the natural beauty Daryl was once celebrated for. Her current appearance no longer aligns with the image audiences once adored, underscoring the relentless pressure in Hollywood, where beauty standards are always shifting, and even timeless stars can't escape the demanding expectations. Priscilla Presley, a true icon, not only for her role in the Naked Gun films, but also for her significant involvement in managing the estate of music legend Elvis Presley. Known for her timeless beauty and graceful presence, she quickly became a style icon of the 1960s and 70s. With her captivating eyes and radiant smile, she solidified her place as one of Hollywood's most beloved faces. However, Priscilla's journey to fame wasn't without its challenges. In 2003, she became a victim of a fraudulent surgeon named Daniel Serrano, who injected unsafe, industrial-grade silicone into her face. The outcome was painful complications, including swollen lumps and mild paralysis. Though Priscilla confirmed that the issue was resolved years ago, the incident left a lasting impact and fueled speculations about her altered appearance. In 2019, Priscilla was diagnosed with skin cancer on her nose, and the surgery to remove the cancerous tissue left a scar, affecting her confidence about her appearance. Despite facing these numerous challenges, Priscilla has shown incredible resilience. She continues to thrive in both her business career and in the arts. What do you think about Priscilla's extraordinary journey? Share your thoughts below. Joan Van Ark, the famous American actress, is best known for her iconic role as Valene Ewing in the hit television series Knots Landing. She won the hearts of audiences with her impressive acting and striking beauty. In the early years of her career, her shiny blonde hair and delicate features made her one of Hollywood's most admired beauties. Over time, however, rumors have circulated suggesting that Joan may have turned to cosmetic procedures to maintain her youthful appearance. While she has never publicly commented on these rumors, many credible reports suggest she may have undergone procedures such as Botox injections, fillers, facelifts, and eyelid surgery. Sadly, these efforts seem to have yielded results that didn't quite meet expectations. Some opinions suggest that her face now appears unnatural, stiff, and lacking the harmony that once defined her. Cosmetic experts believe Joan may have overdone certain procedures, which has overshadowed the natural charm that once made her a star. Despite still being a television icon, the ongoing discussion about Joan's changed appearance has somewhat overshadowed the remarkable achievements of her career. Carrie Fisher, forever remembered for her role as Princess Leia in the Star Wars franchise, became a symbol of strength, independence, and resilience, inspiring generations of fans. However, behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, Carrie's life was deeply shaped by personal struggles. She openly shared her battles with drug and alcohol addiction, revealing that her issues began in the late 1970s and continued through the 1980s, especially during the filming of The Empire Strikes Back. To cope with the overwhelming pressure of fame, she turned to substances like cocaine. Additionally, Carrie Fisher was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which had a profound impact on both her personal life and career. Despite these challenges, she became a symbol of courage by sharing her experiences in her memoir, Wishful Drinking. Her candid revelations helped break down the stigma surrounding mental health and addiction, offering hope and motivation to many. As she aged, Carrie faced health issues and changes in appearance, but continued to work and inspire people with her intelligence, bluntness, and strength. Carrie Fisher passed away in 2016 from a heart attack, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate with fans and movie lovers worldwide. Goldie Hawn, the legendary actress, rose to fame in the 1960s and left an indelible mark on Hollywood with her irresistible charm and unmatched comedic talent. Praised for her roles in iconic films like Cactus, Flower, and Private Benjamin, she won an Oscar and became a beloved figure in film history. Her radiant beauty, blonde hair, and ever-present smile became symbols of Hollywood's golden era. However, Goldie's brilliant career wasn't without its personal struggles. Despite her rapid rise to fame, she battled severe depression in her 20s, even as her star was still on the rise. While she was celebrated, Goldie often wrestled with anxiety and feelings of emptiness, at times contemplating stepping away from the spotlight. With the support of a psychologist, Goldie Hawn overcame this tough period and emerged stronger, continuing her career with calm determination. In recent years, changes in her appearance have sparked attention, leading many to speculate that she may have undergone cosmetic surgery to maintain the youthful beauty she was once admired for. These changes have prompted people to reflect on the glory of her younger years, a time when her beauty solidified her status as a Hollywood legend. Kim Basinger, the renowned American actress, made a lasting impact on the film industry with her unforgettable performances in the 1980s and 1990s. Known for her delicate beauty and unique allure, she captivated audiences in films like L.A. Confidential and Batman, leaving a sensual and unforgettable on-screen presence. However, her journey in Hollywood wasn't without its challenges. While she has never publicly confirmed undergoing cosmetic surgery, Long-standing rumors suggest she may have had some minor procedures to maintain her youthful appearance. Along with these speculations, Basinger also faced significant personal challenges, including social anxiety, which caused her to suffer frequent panic attacks. This condition severely impacted both her career and personal life, adding extra pressure in an already demanding industry. In addition to her struggles with mental health, Kim faced severe financial troubles, even coming close to bankruptcy. This financial crisis forced her to confront major obstacles, testing her resilience in ways many wouldn't expect. Despite these hardships, Basinger's immense talent and perseverance have left a lasting legacy in Hollywood. Kelly LeBrock, the unforgettable star of The Woman in Red and Weird Science, became an iconic beauty of the 1980s. Her captivating presence, long hair, and distinctive features quickly won over Hollywood and audiences, making her a symbol of the allure and elegance of the era. Despite her career success, LeBrock's personal life has faced significant challenges, particularly after her divorce from actor Steven Seagal. Over time, changes in Kelly LeBrock's appearance have sparked rumors, with speculations about possible cosmetic procedures, such as fillers, nose jobs, or facelifts. However, she has never publicly confirmed these rumors. Beyond her appearance, she also faced personal struggles, including alcohol and drug addiction, which led her to step away from the spotlight and seek a quieter, more peaceful life. Today, Kelly LeBrock focuses on her family and charitable work, particularly supporting children facing serious illnesses. While her acting career has slowed, she remains beloved by fans, serving as a testament to her lasting impact on Hollywood. Kirstie Alley, the famous Hollywood actress best known for her iconic role in the hit sitcom Cheers, received widespread acclaim and earned numerous prestigious awards, including a Golden Globe. With her distinctive beauty and striking blonde hair, she became a symbol of Hollywood allure in the 1980s and 1990s, captivating audiences with her natural talent and charm. However, Kirstie's personal life was often under intense public scrutiny, particularly regarding her ongoing battles with weight issues. She openly shared her continuous struggle with weight loss, which led to frequent changes in her public image. Kirstie became the face of the Jenny Craig weight loss program, but her fluctuating weight sparked controversy and significantly impacted her career, particularly after her time on Cheers. Despite these challenges, Kirstie remained a beloved figure in the entertainment industry. Kirstie Alley passed away in December 2022 after a battle with cancer, a loss confirmed by her family shortly after her death. Her legacy continues to be remembered not only for her talent and charm, but also for her openness about personal struggles, which made her a relatable and admirable figure to many fans, who respected her sincerity and resilience. Linda Hamilton, renowned for her iconic role as Sarah Connor in the Terminator series, emerged as one of Hollywood's brightest stars during the 1980s and 1990s. Her stunning beauty and powerful presence captivated audiences as she portrayed a character who was both strong and resilient, solidifying her place among action movie legends. Sarah Connor became not just a fictional character, but a lasting symbol of toughness and strength, largely thanks to Hamilton's unforgettable performance. However, Hamilton's journey was not only marked by career success, but also by deep personal challenges. She struggled with undiagnosed bipolar disorder for many years, facing periods of depression and mania. During these difficult times, she turned to alcohol and drugs as a way to cope with her mental health crises. These battles impacted her health and hindered her career as she navigated the pressures of Hollywood and her inner demons. After receiving treatment, Linda Hamilton made a strong comeback and became a passionate advocate for mental health awareness. Her story of resilience and courage has inspired countless people facing similar struggles, highlighting the importance of seeking support and the transformative power of overcoming life's challenges. Jessica Lange, the acclaimed American actress, has made a profound impact on the film and entertainment industry through her exceptional performances over the decades. With 2 Academy Awards, one for Tootsie and another for Blue Sky, Lange's talent and versatility shine through, not only with her captivating beauty, but also with her commanding presence, making her a lasting icon in Hollywood. Over time, rumors have circulated suggesting that Jessica Lange may have undergone cosmetic procedures, such as eyelid lifts and facelifts, to maintain her youthful appearance. While she has never confirmed these speculations, the discussion surrounding them has sparked some controversy. Critics have argued that such procedures could alter her natural beauty and influence the roles she took on throughout her career. Despite these rumors, Lange's career remains strong, and she continues to captivate audiences with her performances. Beyond her professional achievements, Jessica Lange has opened up about her long battle with depression, a condition that has deeply impacted both her personal life and work. Her journey is a powerful reminder of the strength required to overcome personal and professional challenges, solidifying her place as a true star. Victoria Principal, renowned for her role as Pamela Ewing in the hit series Dallas, became a symbol of both beauty and talent in Hollywood. Her distinctive features, graceful demeanor, and fit physique helped solidify her place as one of the most captivating actresses of her era. The role of Pamela Ewing made her a household name in the 1970s and 1980s, securing her legacy in television history. After marrying cosmetic surgeon Dr. Harry Glassman, rumors surfaced suggesting that Victoria may have undergone cosmetic procedures to maintain her youthful appearance. However, she has consistently denied having surgery, attributing her youthful skin and ageless looks to strict skincare routines and a healthy lifestyle. In addition to her acting career, Victoria Principal made a significant mark in business by launching the skincare brand Principal Secret in 1989, showcasing her expertise in beauty and self-care. Despite being diagnosed with a blood clotting disorder, her health condition has had little impact on her career and personal life. To this day, even as she ages, she maintains impressive youthfulness and health, demonstrating the persistence and self-care she has dedicated to herself. Faye Dunaway is one of Hollywood's most prominent and celebrated actresses, with a career full of iconic performances that have left a lasting impact on the film industry. Famous for her powerful roles in classic films like Bonnie and Clyde, Chinatown, and her Oscar-winning performance in Network, Faye became a symbol of elegance and talent during the 1960s and 1970s. In her youth, she was admired for her sharp beauty, embodying the allure of Hollywood. However, her life has not been without challenges. Long-standing rumors have suggested that she may have undergone cosmetic procedures, such as facelifts, Botox injections, and lip enhancements, particularly after noticeable changes in her appearance in 2005. Despite this, Faye Dunaway has never publicly confirmed or denied these speculations, leaving the public to speculate about the reasons behind her changing appearance. In addition to the rumors surrounding her appearance, Faye Dunaway has openly shared her struggle with bipolar disorder, a condition that has profoundly impacted her personal life and career. While she has been treated with medication, she still faced criticism for her past unstable behavior. Despite this, Faye Dunaway remains a Hollywood legend, remembered not only for her exceptional talent, but also for her unforgettable contributions to the film industry. Madonna, the Queen of Pop, has been a transformative force in music and entertainment, leaving a lasting legacy since her rise to stardom in the 1980s. Renowned for her ability to reinvent both musical styles and fashion trends, Madonna has influenced generations of artists and fans alike. Her bold presence, intense gaze, and defiant style cemented her as a symbol of rebellion and female empowerment, continually breaking boundaries in both her creative work and public persona. However, Madonna's career path has not been without controversy, especially regarding her use of cosmetic procedures to maintain a youthful appearance. At the 2023 Grammy Awards, her altered look shocked fans, sparking rumors about her use of excessive fillers and cosmetic surgery. This change ignited a conversation about the potential impact of these procedures on her health and mental well-being. Madonna has openly discussed her past, admitting to experimenting with different substances as part of her spiritual exploration. While she has not faced any serious long-term health issues, her lifestyle and cosmetic choices have undeniably shaped how the public perceives her. Despite the criticism, Madonna continues to dominate the entertainment industry, celebrated for her bold spirit, artistry, and unwavering resilience. Cher, the legendary American singer and actress, is celebrated as the goddess of pop and has made lasting contributions to both music and film over the course of more than 6 decades. She began her music career in the 1960s with the hit song "I Got You, Babe," alongside her ex-husband Sonny Bono, quickly becoming a cultural icon thanks to her distinctive style and powerful voice. Cher later enjoyed a successful solo career, earning numerous prestigious awards, including an Oscar for her performance in Moonstruck, 1987. In her youth, Cher captivated audiences with her striking beauty, expressive eyes, and glossy black hair, becoming a symbol of timeless allure. Over the years, Cher has openly discussed undergoing cosmetic surgery to maintain her appearance, including procedures like a nose job and breast augmentation. Despite the rumors, she has maintained that these choices were personal and has denied being addicted to plastic surgery. Cher has also faced health challenges, including a long battle with the Epstein-Barr virus, which has impacted her health for many years. However, these struggles have not weakened her spirit. Her unmatched talent, ability to constantly reinvent herself, and resilience have solidified Cher as one of the greatest icons in entertainment history. Melanie Griffith, a renowned American actress, rose to prominence in Hollywood with standout performances in films such as Working Girl, Something Wild, and Body Double. Her captivating beauty and remarkable talent helped Melanie become one of the most iconic stars of the 1980s and 1990s. Her breakthrough came with Working Girl, 1988, where her role as Tess McGill earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, firmly establishing her as one of the top stars in the film industry. Melanie stood out for her natural acting style and versatility across genres, from romantic comedies to intense dramas. Her personal life, including high-profile marriages to actors Don Johnson and later Antonio Banderas, always captured media attention. Despite facing personal challenges such as addiction and the pressures of fame, Melanie's career remained strong, earning her recognition not only for her artistry, but also for her resilience. In recent years, Melanie has chosen a more private life, but her influence on Hollywood remains undeniable. Like many stars of her generation, she has faced public commentary regarding aging and cosmetic procedures. Yet she has always stayed true to herself, advocating for self-acceptance and honesty. With a career filled with memorable performances and a powerful on-screen presence, Melanie continues to be a respected and admired figure in the entertainment world. Sharon Stone, with her commanding presence on screen, continues to be a respected and admired icon in the entertainment industry. An American actress, her career has left an indelible mark on Hollywood over several decades. Best known for her legendary role in Basic Instinct, she became an international sensation, captivating audiences with her dazzling beauty and mesmerizing performance. Her portrayal of Catherine Trammell not only made her a household name, but also solidified her as one of the most enduring figures in the entertainment world. Sharon's career spans multiple genres, demonstrating her diverse acting talent. Her impressive performances in films like Casino, for which she received an Oscar nomination, prove that her abilities go far beyond typical Hollywood roles. With her sharp beauty, intense gaze, and commanding presence, Sharon has become a symbol of elegance and strength on screen. Beyond her acting career, Sharon has openly faced personal challenges, including recovering from a stroke in 2001 and dealing with the pressures of living under the public spotlight. Her appearance has sometimes been the subject of speculation, with rumors surrounding potential cosmetic procedures. However, she embraces aging gracefully, staying true to herself and committed to authenticity. Sharon's lasting influence is not only marked by her unforgettable performances, but also by the way she has lived unapologetically, solidifying her legacy as a trailblazer in Hollywood. Bai Ling, the Asian-born actress who once stood out as a uniquely seductive icon in late 80s and early 90s Hollywood, made a strong impression with her striking beauty, sharp eyes, and mysterious aura. She gained recognition in films like The Crow, 1994, and Red Corner, 1997, earning praise for her rebellious spirit and unmistakable style. Early in her career, Bai Ling was seen as a breath of fresh air among Hollywood's typical lineup of blonde, fair-skinned starlets. She had all the qualities to become an icon: beauty, personality, and uniqueness. However, over time, the public began to focus more on her noticeably altered appearance, particularly signs of unsuccessful plastic surgery and her increasingly eccentric and controversial fashion choices. Although she has not publicly admitted it, many sources suggest that Bai Ling has used methods such as nose jobs, filler injections, and Botox to maintain her youthful appearance. Her current look is often described as unnatural, with some claiming it has lost the charm that once captivated audiences. Additionally, Her bold and eccentric fashion choices at red carpet events have moved her image further away from the elegance and sophistication that once made her stand out. These changes have led many to feel regret over the transformation of a Bai Ling, who was once seen as incredibly attractive, unique, and full of potential. While still active in the arts, Bai Ling is now perhaps more recognized for her eccentricity and plastic appearance than for the quality roles that marked her early career. Phoebe Cates was once the epitome of beauty in 1980s Hollywood. With her fresh, youthful looks, large eyes, and sweet smile, she quickly became a fan favorite through films like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, 1982, and Gremlins, 1984. The iconic scene of her emerging from a pool in a red bikini became one of the most memorable moments in American film history, earning Phoebe the title of Teen Goddess, adored by millions. However, after marrying actor Kevin Kline in the early 1990s, Phoebe largely withdrew from the screen to focus on her family. Her absence from the spotlight and the passage of time left many surprised when she returned with a significantly changed appearance. Compared to her radiant, youthful self during her prime, Phoebe Cates now appears somewhat dull and lifeless. While she hasn't been caught up in the cosmetic surgery controversies that many other stars have faced, the signs of aging, combined with her more private lifestyle and disregard for her public image, have led to a noticeable transformation. Wrinkled skin, a less toned face, and a simpler fashion style make it difficult for many to recognize the beauty icon of yesteryear. Some have suggested that her extended absence from Hollywood has caused Phoebe to lose the glow and allure she once had. Nevertheless, many still respect her decision to live a simple life away from the spotlight, even if it means the beauty that once captivated generations is now just a memory. Next, we delve into the mysterious deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa. It is believed that Hackman passed away from heart disease after his wife succumbed to a rare infection. The shocking discovery of their deaths at their Santa Fe home, weeks after they had passed, left the world stunned. As investigators continued their search, disturbing clues emerged, suggesting that someone might have known about their deaths earlier than expected. All eyes now turned to Hackman's daughter, Leslie Ann. Could she be involved in something darker than anyone could have imagined? What secrets is she hiding, and how far would she go to keep the truth buried? The revelations that follow might just send a chill down your spine. The death sent shockwaves through Hollywood. The quiet house, eerily still, had its door left ajar for weeks, with piles of undelivered mail accumulating outside. A concerned neighbor, sensing something was amiss, alerted the police. When officers arrived to check, they initially thought it was just another routine call. However, what they found inside was far from ordinary. Near the kitchen, Gene Hackman's body was discovered in an unnatural position, oddly slumped, with his sunglasses lying beside him as though they had fallen by accident. In the bathroom, Betsy Arakawa's body was found. Pills were scattered across the table, and the sink was dry with a faint mark, showing no signs of blood or forced entry. 2 dogs roamed freely around the house, while another lay dead in its crate. It was clear that something was terribly wrong. The bodies were not fresh. The skin had already contracted tightly around the bones, and decomposition had slowed, indicating that the embalming process was nearly complete. Authorities soon discovered that Gene and Betsy had passed away several weeks earlier. The atmosphere in the house was damp, and there was no sign of fresh air having been let in for a long time. Expired food still sat on the table, creating an eerie feeling that time had stopped moving. One cold question lingered for the police. How could two people, including a famous Hollywood star, have gone unnoticed for such an extended period? The answer came from an unexpected source. Gene Hackman's pacemaker recorded a final action, which the investigators examined. This revelation changed everything. Gene might have died on February 17th, and if this was accurate, the house had been silent for at least 9 days, with no calls for help, no signs of activity, and no one entering. However, something still didn't add up. Why was Betsy found in a different room if Gene had collapsed? If she had been alive after his death, why didn't she call for help? More questions piled up, and a small crack in the door. Could someone have been there before the authorities arrived? Was the door intentionally left ajar? The test results showed no signs of carbon monoxide poisoning or any drugs. There was no clear cause of death. Everything seemed thoroughly checked until something new was discovered, which changed the entire case. Records indicated that Gene Hackman's house had been under surveillance for weeks before his death. Someone had been watching the house. Security cameras had detected movement, and abnormal phone logs appeared, with GPS tracking revealing strange activity even before law enforcement got involved. An individual seemed to know about the situation. Surprisingly, the direct evidence pointed to Gene Hackman's daughter, Leslie Ann. The investigation shifted its focus as Leslie Ann's statements didn't align with the facts. She claimed to have spoken with her father just a few weeks before his death, but phone records contradicted that story. Financial transactions also raised suspicion. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered another layer of mystery. This case wasn't just about his death, but also involved money. Documents related to Gene's estate had been altered before he was found. Even before his death was officially confirmed, someone had tried to claim his assets. The undeniable evidence pointed to a disturbing reality, and as the investigation continued, the case grew darker. When investigators checked data from Gene Hackman's pacemaker, the case took a major turn. Before the device stopped functioning, it recorded a final movement, and the timestamp clarified the exact moment everything ceased. That moment marked a significant turning point. Authorities continued searching for any signs of life after that date. They checked his phone records. No calls, no messages, no internet activity. Financial transactions also stopped. There were no bank logins, no credit card transactions. It was as if he had vanished without a trace. Then a new clue emerged. Security cameras from a nearby house recorded movement outside Hackman's home. A curtain near the door fluttered, and a car had been parked on the street for several hours. Inside the house, motion sensors detected unusual activity at odd hours. However, what was strange was that the front door remained untouched. So who had been watching? The police checked his security system, and the logs revealed an anomaly. In the days leading up to his death, the doorbell had been repeatedly turned on and off. There was no sign of forced entry, no calls to emergency services, but still, something was off. Hackman's life had always followed a steady pattern, with daily routines, walking the dogs, checking the mail, paying bills. His routine was almost robotic, but suddenly, it all stopped. The police continued their investigation, and uncovered the last digital traces of him. The final words he wrote, his most recent web searches, the last call he made, all of them ended abruptly, without warning, without goodbyes. Then, another clue surfaced. Data from a mobile phone tower revealed an unusual phone signal near Hackman's house. This phone number wasn't his. The signal continuously switched from tower to tower, concealing its true origin. This signal appeared the night before Hackman's pacemaker recorded its final heartbeat. Someone had been there, someone who knew exactly what had happened. If Hackman had experienced a medical emergency, Betsy should have called for help. However, no calls were made. Why didn't she leave the house if she was still alive after his death? Why didn't she contact anyone? Police dug into her bank records, and on February 16th, they found a small transaction. At first, it seemed insignificant, but later it became a critical digital trace, a sign of life before everything went silent. On that day, both Hackman and his wife had already passed away. However, the pressing question remained. Who had been watching them? Investigators searched for someone who might have infiltrated the house, someone with a motive to take something. As the investigation deepened, surveillance records raised doubts, and the focus shifted. It was now time to uncover the truth. How was Gene Hackman's daughter, Leslie Ann, involved? Initially, Leslie Ann was not a clear target in the investigation. Public attention was focused on the unusual timeline, the surveillance footage, and data from the pacemaker. However, as investigators dug deeper, they uncovered something that completely changed the case. Authorities revealed that Leslie Ann had claimed to have spoken to her father just weeks before his death, stating that everything seemed normal, with no signs of tension or abnormal behavior. Yet, when investigators checked the call logs, they found no calls, no messages, no communication between them. In fact, the last time Leslie Ann had met or spoken with her father was long before she had claimed. The events didn't match her story, prompting investigators to examine her banking activity, expecting to find usual financial transactions and spending patterns. However, they discovered something unusual. Leslie Ann had spoken about her father's estate before his death was publicly confirmed. Legal issues quickly arose, along with questions about inheritance, at a time when no one outside the family suspected Hackman had passed away. Then, investigators uncovered altered documents. Someone had accessed records related to Hackman's estate, and key details had been modified. The timing of these changes couldn't be ignored. If these modifications occurred before February 17th, the situation was not only strange, but also deliberate. Authorities began to apply pressure, asking tough questions. Did Leslie Ann know something others didn't? Was she preparing for an event before it actually happened? Her actions raised further suspicions as investigators confronted her about the contradictions in her statements. She became defensive, and her story grew increasingly vague. She couldn't explain why there were no records of the calls she claimed to have made, nor could she clarify the financial transactions linked to her name. A curious detail soon surfaced. Gene Hackman's estate had been discussed with a lawyer on the same day his pacemaker recorded its final action. Strangely, no one had acknowledged his death at that time. He had been gone for an extended period without anyone realizing. Why then had someone been moving his belongings, The clock was ticking for Leslie Ann. If she was indeed trying to safeguard her father's estate, did she already know about his final moments? What began as an investigation into Hackman's death had now expanded into a much broader case involving financial fraud and deceit. The mounting evidence pointed to something darker than a simple accident. With each new revelation, the investigation began to piece together a more sinister story. A secret was on the verge of being uncovered, and once exposed, there would be no turning back. When the autopsy results came in, they failed to provide clarity. In fact, they raised even more questions. Gene Hackman's body showed no signs of injury, no bruises, broken bones, or defensive wounds. There was no evidence that he had been attacked or that any violence had occurred. The same was true for Betsy Arakawa's body. No signs of a struggle or any indication of foul play. The initial hypothesis that the couple may have been poisoned by carbon monoxide was quickly ruled out. Authorities thoroughly checked the air, gas lines, and any possible sources of a leak, but found nothing. There was no indication that the couple had been exposed to anything that could have silently taken their lives. With this theory dismissed, the investigators were left with a new puzzle. If it wasn't an external influence or environmental poisoning, then what had caused their deaths? The follow-up toxicology tests didn't offer any further clues either. No drugs, no barbiturates, and no signs of an overdose. On paper, at least, their bodily systems seemed clean. However, the police later noticed something strange. Several medications that should have been in the house were missing. Gene Hackman had a history of heart disease and had undergone treatments in the past. He relied on medication to manage his condition, but those prescriptions were nowhere to be found during the police search of his home. This wasn't a simple case of misplaced medication. If Gene Hackman had run out of his prescriptions, there should have been signs that he had replaced them. But there was nothing. No leftover pills were found in the house, suggesting that he hadn't stopped taking them voluntarily. It seemed as though the medications had been deliberately removed. The investigators began to entertain a chilling possibility. Could Hackman's death have been the result of something more sophisticated than an external factor? Perhaps someone had intentionally prevented him from receiving the necessary medical help, either through deliberate action or gross negligence. Both scenarios could have led to his untimely death. The autopsy reports suggested that Gene Hackman's death might have occurred if someone had intentionally stopped providing him with medication, ceased his medical treatment, or allowed his condition to worsen without intervention. It wasn't the result of a violent confrontation, but rather a slow collapse, an inevitable outcome. The authorities then examined the pills scattered around Betsy. Why didn't she take them? If she had suffered a medical crisis, why didn't she seek help? Perhaps she was too weak to act. Or maybe someone ensured that she couldn't. Everything shifted when the medications vanished. This revealed intention, pointing to deliberate action rather than a tragic accident. At this point, the police weren't just investigating a sad death, they were considering the possibility of a carefully orchestrated plan. And this plan centered on one person who stood to gain everything: the battle for the estate and legal matters. The battle for Gene Hackman's estate began almost immediately. His wealth, amassed over decades of success in Hollywood, was already tied up in lawsuits even before his death. Investigators uncovered suspicious activity surrounding his estate, but when they examined Hackman's will, they were stunned. Several pages of the will were blank, and crucial details had been altered before Hackman was officially declared deceased. Someone had tampered with these documents. The timing was undeniable, and the paper trail consistently pointed to Leslie Ann Hackman. She had been focused on her father's estate even before his body was found. Her lawyers later admitted that she had attempted to alter estate documents, despite not having the legal authority to do so. Nonetheless, the paperwork and financial transactions indicated that someone had been preparing for the transfer of Hackman's estate long before his death. The police pieced the details together. The will had been reviewed, modified, and sent to a lawyer for evaluation while Hackman was still missing. This clearly pointed to Leslie Ann's involvement. Were they strategizing, or did she know in advance that her father was already gone? Legal experts were divided on the changes made to the will. Some believed the modifications were intended to secure a larger inheritance, while others saw them as clear evidence of deception. If Leslie Ann had been preparing for her father's death, what else could she have arranged? The legal battle grew more intense as missing documents, financial anomalies, and inheritance disputes surfaced at unlikely times. Prosecutors began building a case, with a series of suspicious financial transactions clearly emerging. This wasn't just about inheritance rights. It was about deception, greed, and the length someone might go to claim an estate. As the case progressed and the battle for the estate intensified, Leslie Ann's suspicious actions raised even more uncomfortable questions. The truth slowly emerged through 24/7 surveillance. The police decided to monitor her day and night, scrutinizing every movement, phone call, email, and financial transaction. What they uncovered sent shivers down their spines. Her bank records revealed a story she had never shared with anyone. There were warnings about suspicious transactions, with cash being transferred back and forth between different banks. Some withdrawals were made in small amounts, deliberately kept under the radar. These transactions appeared to have occurred at odd times, and some even took place before Hackman's death was publicly confirmed. Her personal emails were also examined, and what they revealed was highly suspicious. Messages sent to lawyers indicated that Leslie Ann had been discussing her father's estate long before the public had any reason to know about it. According to the records, her father was still believed to be alive when she consulted lawyers about estate claims. It appeared as though she had been preparing for an event she had predicted. Phone call records provided further insight. The timeline showed that she had contacted financial advisors, transferred assets, and attempted to expedite legal processes, while everyone still believed Gene Hackman was alive. Her actions only made sense if she was certain her father was already gone. The most damning evidence came from unnoticed banking transactions. A forensic audit revealed that large sums of money had been moved into private accounts without anyone knowing. Some of this money had been transferred to overseas banks, making it difficult to trace. Leslie Ann had moved money before she was legally entitled to it. At this stage, it was clear that this was no longer mere speculation. The combination of surveillance footage, financial records, and legal investigations led to an irrefutable conclusion. Leslie Ann's actions were not those of a grieving daughter dealing with her father's estate. Instead, they pointed to a meticulously orchestrated plan to claim his wealth. The evidence was overwhelming. Leslie Ann Hackman was deeply involved in the suspicious banking transactions, the altered legal documents, and the surveillance footage. Shockingly, even before her father's death was officially confirmed, she had already set her sights on profiting from it. The investigation uncovered a pattern of deception, manipulation, and legal obstruction. It was time for justice to take its course. The police acted swiftly, arresting Leslie Ann and bringing charges without hesitation. Prosecutors moved quickly as well, with the case progressing through the court system like a puzzle being carefully assembled, each piece revealing how she had tried to deceive the system. The missing pages in the will, the earlier property claims, the hidden transactions, all of it aligned. The timeline became clear. She had planned for Gene Hackman's death long before anyone even realized he was gone. The verdict came swiftly, and the result was that Leslie Ann was stripped of her inheritance rights to Hackman's estate. She was convicted on multiple charges, including theft, financial manipulation, and obstruction of justice. Every penny, asset, and legal connection to her father was taken from her. Her name was erased from his legacy. She had gambled everything on a plan that crumbled right before her eyes. In the end, nothing remained. Not the wealth, not the inheritance, and not a part of her father's estate. It was a final goodbye, forever. Though the verdict had been delivered, one question lingered. What truly happened in the final days of Gene Hackman? Was Leslie Ann simply seizing an opportunity? Despite the case being resolved, some still believe the full truth has not yet been revealed. The story of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's deaths shed light on a disturbing and often overlooked epidemic in American society: elder abuse. The shocking allegations surrounding Leslie Ann Hackman and her manipulation of her father's estate brought to the forefront a grim reality affecting millions of older Americans. According to the National Council on Aging, approximately 5 million older Americans experience some form of abuse each year, whether it's financial exploitation, neglect, or physical abuse. This case highlighted the vulnerability of seniors and the importance of recognizing and addressing elder abuse within our communities. Hackman's case serves as a glaring reminder of how vulnerable older adults can be, even those with considerable wealth and fame. Like many aging individuals, Hackman depended on his family to care for him in his later years. Yet, when that trust is placed in the hands of a close relative, it can be easily taken advantage of. Leslie Ann's actions stand as a clear example of how those closest to elderly individuals can exploit their assets and well-being for their own benefit. One of the most troubling aspects of Hackman's case was the manipulation of legal loopholes and guardianship rights to enable the abuse. As her father's legal guardian, Leslie Ann had unfettered access to his finances and personal affairs. Experts in New Mexico, where Hackman resided, pointed out that the state's guardianship laws often emphasize efficiency over stringent oversight, leaving the door open for potential abuse. While guardianship laws are intended to safeguard vulnerable individuals, they fall short in providing the strict monitoring needed to prevent exploitation. This is particularly true when a family member, like Leslie Ann, is appointed as the guardian. The absence of rigorous oversight allowed for the elderly person to be easily taken advantage of, as the guardian had the power to make significant financial decisions without sufficient scrutiny. Another key factor in the Hackman case was the cultural stigma surrounding elder abuse. Many families hesitate to report such incidents out of shame, fear of harming relationships, or a reluctance to expose private family issues. Hackman's private nature and iconic Hollywood status may have intensified his isolation, making it harder for others to notice or act on signs of abuse. His celebrity created a protective barrier around his personal life, fostering a false sense of security that allowed Leslie Ann's alleged actions to go unnoticed for a significant period. This isolation, coupled with the deeply rooted taboo against confronting betrayal within families, meant that no one intervened in time to prevent the exploitation. The case underscores a broader societal pattern of overlooking elder abuse, especially when it occurs within families, spaces where love and trust are assumed to prevail. Gene Hackman's cinematic legacy was defined by his portrayals of deeply layered characters with murky moral compasses, from the relentless Popeye Doyle in The French Connection to the brutal Little Bill Daggett in Unforgiven. He frequently embodied men who were both gifted and deeply flawed, figures whose inner turmoil often led to their downfall. His screen presence captured the essence of the imperfect hero, individuals whose strengths were frequently overshadowed by the weight of their own obsessions. In many ways, Hackman's real-life tragedy echoes the very characters he brought to life on screen. The irony of his personal story unfolding like one of his film roles was hard to ignore for longtime fans. In Unforgiven, he portrayed a relentless enforcer of the law whose downfall came through his own rigid sense of justice, a theme hauntingly mirrored in the betrayal Hackman would later endure in his own life. Hackman's struggle to reconcile the moral ambiguity of his on-screen characters with the painful truths of his personal life stands as a stark reminder of the darker side of fame and human nature. The public's perception of him, particularly in the wake of his death, was deeply shaped by the contrast between the heroic figures he portrayed in film and the devastating betrayal he allegedly suffered at the hands of his own daughter. Fans and the broader public were shocked to learn that someone who once embodied iconic heroes on screen could fall victim to such a heartbreaking case of financial exploitation. Social media reactions ranged from sorrow to outrage, with many expressing disbelief that a man celebrated for his courageous roles could pass away alone and seemingly forsaken. The contrast between Hackman's cinematic bravery and the reality of his final years was difficult for many to process, serving as a sobering reminder that even the most revered figures are not immune to suffering. His tragic story dismantles the myth of invincibility often projected onto Hollywood legends, turning his final chapter into a poignant cautionary tale about the fragility of life and the painful truths fame can conceal. In the aftermath of the Hackman case, the critical importance of estate management and inheritance planning came into sharp focus. The heartbreaking outcome of Hackman's estate underscored the need for thoughtful, proactive planning, particularly for individuals with significant wealth. His case stands as a powerful reminder of why meticulous attention to the handling of assets after death is essential to protect both legacy and loved ones. One of the key red flags in the Hackman case was the missing or altered documents in his will, indicating potential fraudulent activity. Legal experts stress the importance of third-party oversight in estate planning to prevent anyone from having unchecked access to an estate's assets. The alleged transfer of funds into offshore accounts by Leslie Ann underscores the dangers of opaque financial systems and the risk of exploitation when assets are not properly safeguarded. Advocates for transparency argue that stricter regulations are needed, particularly during the probate process, to protect vulnerable individuals from being taken advantage of after the death of a loved one. The most effective asset protection strategies include establishing living trusts, which help bypass the probate process and offer greater privacy, thereby reducing opportunities for exploitation. Additionally, appointing independent trustees, such as banks or attorneys, can minimize family disputes and lower the risk of financial abuse. As one financial advisor noted, the Hackman case serves as a stark reminder of the critical need for clear, legally binding directives in estate planning. Without these safeguards in place, even the most carefully crafted estate plans can be compromised, leaving vulnerable individuals exposed to fraud and financial exploitation. At the core of the Hackman case lies the murky divide between good and evil. Leslie Ann's alleged actions, driven by greed, deceit, and financial exploitation, sharply contradict society's expectations of loyalty and trust within a family. While her exact motivations remain unclear, they may have been fueled by financial desperation and deep-seated resentment within the family. Psychologists propose that her behavior could have been influenced by emotional wounds caused by her father's remarriage to Betsy Arakawa, which may have left Leslie feeling neglected and sidelined in his life. The evolution of Leslie Ann's alleged actions, from minor financial manipulations to full-fledged fraud, illustrates how unethical behavior can gradually escalate. This slippery slope effect highlights how moral boundaries can become increasingly blurred, causing a person's actions to drift further from the values they once held. The Hackman case raises deep questions about materialism, self-interest, and the complexities of human nature, shedding light on how personal motivations can sometimes lead to devastating consequences. As one commentator noted, Leslie Ann's actions were not merely about money. They were about rejecting her father's legacy. She sought not only his wealth, but also to erase his identity and control his narrative in a way that excluded his past and heritage. Her rejection of her father's life reflects a broader cultural shift, where family bonds and respect for the elderly are frequently overshadowed by the pursuit of power and wealth. Thank you for watching this video. It's fascinating to see how these once glamorous stars have evolved, isn't it? If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'd love to hear your thoughts on these 80s stars in the comments. See you in the next one.